7 seconds. Stop this one. Alright. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we give all honor, glory, and praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Also, want to give double honors to the elders and apostles, their great millstones, teaching his truth and sincerity, and also who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that's scattered four corners of the earth, which are you so-called Negroes, you so-called Latino Hispanics, and the so-called American Indians. The true Israelites is coming out of the elect nation of Israel and the nation that the Lord loves and deals with. Alright? This brother Yawanathan, Great Millstone, Detroit, just back at you with another lesson, and I'm going to title this, and it's going to be, back to the basics. It's more than just knowing that you're an Israelite. Alright, so, Lord willing, I hope this video is edifying, let's get into it. So, when we wake up to our true nationality, basically being an Israelite is just not knowing that you're an Israelite. It's not just, I'm an Israelite, so little Lord's dealing with me. No. So what you do is now there's a walk that you have to do. Right? Because the Israelites are a holy people. So let me grab Revelations 147. Because, again, and you're going to hear me say this a lot. You probably heard the elders, heads, other Israelites, especially from GMS, say the same thing over and over. But hey, when you get into certain books like Matthew, Luke, Mark, it repeats itself in certain aspects. But Jake is hard-headed when you just got to tell him over and over and over. Okay? But that's still a good thing. That helps me. Like the elders say. Repetition is the father of skill. Okay? But let's get Psalms 147 and verse 19. It reads, He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statute and his judgment unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation, and for his judgment they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. So when you come into this truth, yes, the Lord is only dealing with the Israelites. That's why we are the holy people, right? And holy means separate, right? When you wake up and come to this truth, you got to move differently. You're not going to be like these other people in the world, right? Because everybody's the same. When you get into Ezekiel the 37th chapter, when it talks about the valley of dry bones, man, we were spiritually dead, spiritually and morally. Okay, because we're living in a society where we were all dead in state through the vibrations of the devil, man. The people who run the world. You got Job 9 and 24. Roughly paraphrasing, it tells you that the world is given to the hand of the wicked, pushing all type of wickedness, unrighteous decrees, legislations, so on and so forth. All right. So when you wake up and you get to this truth, man, this is not our rest. This is not our kingdom. This is not for Jake. Well, especially on this side, the elect. Ezekiel 9 and 4. And it reads, let's see, it says, And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for the abominations that be done in the midst of her. So those men that are sighing and crying, those are going to be the men that's going to be exempt from judgment. That thought, why? Because of all the things that's going on in this world. Because now since we went off, your Deuteronomy 28 chapter, we had curses put upon us. Subject to payment, going to the heathen, our enemies, for the wanting of all things, for the things that we need. The woman, a woman coming up against you, so on and so forth. The list goes on. And we are those men that sigh and cry because this is out of order. We see the things that our ancestors, our forefathers went through. We know we have the history and records of slavery, but yet we got the alphabet community that get the reparations, even though we don't want the reparations. Fuck it. We want the kingdom. Okay? But again, it's more to just knowing that you're an Israelite. Now there's a walk. Alright? So let me get Matthew 7. And 21, it says, not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Okay? So, let's break that down. All right? It says, not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. All right? Because we know Jake, people, they know there's a power. Right? And Jake that's really not woke, they come in that spirit of, I'm saved, Lord's dealing with me, I have a relationship with the Father, but they don't know nothing. That's why in Romans the 10th chapter, it tells you that they have a zeal, but not according to knowledge. First off, you're not saved until you're on them ships. Second, Lord has his back, Yahweh has his back turned on us. We have to pray to Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is the mediator. Yahweh Shai is the dude, when you go to a club and you gotta check you off the list. I don't see you on the list. Esau, no, you're not on the list. Better yet, I got something better for you. Yahweh Shai's looking at the list like, oh, Joseph, yeah, you in there. No, Yahweh Shai, I'll say that. Yahweh Shai. Oh, Yaquab, yeah, you see I'm naming Israelites, but it's only the elect who does the will of the Heavenly Father. So if we get back into it, it says, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. All right, so there's some things that we have to do and things that we have to put off. All right. Because we got to be that new creature, that new renewed creature, because His word is what cleanses you. That true baptism. This word cleanses you. Okay? So this is one of my favorite books in Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 22. It says that you put off the concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to deceitful lust. All right, so the way how we are in this world, it was corruptible, man. It was fucked up. We were lustful. When you get into the word conversation, it's talking about your conduct. The way how we conduct ourselves in the world is not. It won't be accepted in the eyes of the Most High. Because 9 times out of 10, when you turn on TV, you'll see a nigga, you'll see Pookie, you'll see Ray Ray, you'll see some old dude eating pork grinds, you'll see some YNs on the corner with a blunt in his hand. You'll see some dudes. You'll see Jake. You're like, yeah, man, yeah, girl. I mean, I know you got a boyfriend, but can't we be friends? We know the role, man. So our role is to do the opposite, be better, and put off that wickedness, man. We have laws, statutes, and commandments going all the way from Genesis to shit. It's like, excuse my Hebrew. I'm just trying to think of some commandments in the latter books. It's like, shoot, James. But regardless, to the fact, I remember when I first came into the truth, and this was also inspired me from the brother Arya. It's like I said, that's one of the titles going to be, is more than just knowing that you're an Israelite. It's going to be hard, man. It's going to be difficult. That's why, let's get this one too. Matthew. One second, Slakia. The other sword. Yeah, I think the other sword, because this one, the pages are some kind of ripped. But I love that sword. Regardless, it's a walk. It's not going to be easy. You're not supposed to fit in with the society. Yeah, you can Clark Kent it, but for instance, you just chilling with probably some dudes that might be cool in the world, and they pass you the blunt or whatever. That's when you need to get up and leave. It should be hanging over there anyway. Yep, it's Matthew 7 and verse 13. It says, "Enter ye in at the straight gate, for the wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat." It's like it. All right, so let's break that down. It says, "Enter ye into the straight gate." Enter ye in at the straight gate. The straight gate is basically a walk of obstacles, difficulties, man. It's not going to be easy, right? Because again, I stated you're not supposed to fit in with this wicked society, man. And it says, "For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth into destruction, and many there be which go in thereat." And I always compare that to IUIC. Now they know that they're Israelites, but they're going to fuck off. They might not know any better. They might be just really zombies. But when you come into this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you're held to a higher accountability and a higher what's the word I'm looking for? You're held to a higher standard because you know better. Yet, and this don't just apply just to IUIC. These are Israelites too. That's not in the truth. Okay. This in verse 14. I'm sorry. It says that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. And the reason why I also said IUIC is because compared to GMS and IUIC, GMS, we're off the quality of the spirit. IUIC, they're off the quantity. It's not about numbers, man. The Lord doesn't deal with numbers. I mean, he's a mathematician, but the Lord is looking for quality. All right? And the reason why I also say that is because they live in their life, they basically got somewhat of the worldly appearance. Yeah, they got the t-shirt fringes, but our garments is supposed to touch the ground to keep us in remembrance of law, statutes, and commandments. But there's this Nike t-shirt. I know they have lineups. Maybe they might have some Israelites over there that has dreads, but you're not supposed to have that, man. You're not supposed to go like that. Verse 14, it says, "Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leads unto life, and few there be that find it. See, few, not a lot. Okay. This one just came off top of my head. Yep, 11. Nope, this is. Okay, 14. Because you'll see, like I said, I was going with what's his name, the Gorilla Hebrew. Some members might have long hair, like, you know, we have, like, brothers will have warrior locks, like the braids. All right, but we don't have them all like all to our backs and shoulders and stuff. We have it a nice moderate, you know, length. But as a man, like I said, we don't shave our beards. You know, if you can grow one, grow it. If you don't, you don't. But we are supposed to have beards. But regardless, I was giving the scripture about having men having long hair, because we got that today. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 14. It says, "Doeth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him." It is, because the glory, like having long hair, that's for the woman, man. A woman's hair is her glory, all right? And the reason I brought this up too, because like I stated earlier, that when I was on the opposite side, you know, just teaching, me listening, you know, I had this, you know, Jake came over. You know, we always ask this sincere question, like, "Hey, brother, you know you're an Israelite?" He's like, "Do I know I'm an Israelite?" And that's why I always call him. That to me was, I call him Degrodius Maximus from the fifth flow. But you know, he basically, like, you know, Superman, dude, pulled down his shirt and it said Israelite. And he was like, "Bro, so it just, bro, you know you're an Israelite, but yet you get it tatted. You going completely the fuck off, right?" That's why I say, you know you're an Israelite, it's more than just knowing that you're an Israelite. Because when you're an Israelite, you know, you got to put something on. And you know, I don't, like I said, hey, I know I have tattoos, but that was when I was in the world, so I had to repent from when I did that, and now I have to put that off completely. All right, so this is another thing, because you know, people want to get tatted up, want to be Wiz Khalifa, this, that, and the third, but that's not us, man. That's not what we're supposed to do, and that's why we warn and push the MOTB so hard, because what is that? That's, you know, let's read it first. This is Leviticus chapter 19 in verse 28. It says, "Ye shall not make any cutting in your flesh for the dead, or print any marks upon you. I am the Lord, Yahweh." So, you know, the cutting, that's, like you said, that's you know, that basically is talking about tattoos. It says in again, when you get into that Karagma, is getting into like cutting, incisions, and implants, not branding, but sorry, now my head's on 100. But you know, you're not supposed to do that. That's why when we talk about the MOTB, what are they going to do? They're going to take a needle and they're going to insert something in your skin. Right? That's the same, basically the same thing, but even though it's going to be more technical with technology, but that's things that we are separate from, are not supposed to do. Right? That's why the scriptures tell us, you know, Romans the 12th chapter. It tells us, verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. All right, so everything in this book, that's what we're supposed to be doing. The commandments, the having the faith, having the name, right? But conforming to this fucking world, oh, you as good as nuked. All right, the Lord might take you out a different way, because when you conform to this world, yep, you wanna, and you know how they put these 2/3 Jakes on the pedestal for committing wickedness, because they want us to be asleep still. Don't conform to this world, man. Get to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai that's this in this book. All right. But Lord willing, I hope this video was edifying. You know, again, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakabadash. And again, double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who seek his truth and sincerity, and also rule well. These salutations to all who elect. And close out. Say shalom.